Hello, and welcome to another episode of Product and Cake. Today in the virtual recording studio with me is Paul. How you doing, Paul?
Hi, Ghonche. I was just waving because I remembered that we are now doing video recordings in addition,
true.
and you can take a look at us sitting in our home offices and forgetting that we still get filmed when we are not talking. So new situation. Check out our YouTube channel if you like to.
Yes.
So, how are you, Ghonche?
I'm good. I'm sitting in the comfiest hoodie ever. Even though it's a company merch, it's really, really comfy. It's so nice. And I took it in a couple of size bigger, and I can just be like a pigeon in cold.
I have the previous version of that hoodie, but now I see it has corporate color pencil and blue inside. I have also a hoodie here that is branded, but unfortunately I'm not working there. But if you... Oh, I also don't get paid for making advertisements, so full stop here.
They can sponsor if they want to.
Yeah, if they want to, that would be awesome. I have a lot of good things to say about them.
Oh, really?
So maybe we should recommend that episode,
Yeah. All right. So, as we always do, we start with the check-in question. I brought a check-in question today. Since it's a weekend that we are recording, and I have some time for spending some time with my partner, and it's getting cold and it's getting dark really fast. I just want to watch a really nice movie. So I want to ask you, what's your favorite movie or series?
That's a good question. I have to say, from the last movies I watched, I was very disappointed. They really felt AI and user research driven generated, like it's just the usual stuff and putting into impressive pictures. So what comes to my mind is pretty old, but I was really a huge fan of Lost. The first one or two seasons of Lost, they were just mind-blowing back in the days. And I just recently saw a project where they put everything from Lost in the right order.
Chronological order, yeah. It's so cool. I really want to watch it again.
Maybe you told me about that. Because that is also on my list. I want to watch it again in the right order. That is very interesting. Also, what does that to the story? So,
have you watched this series on Netflix called Kaleidoscope? That each person gets a different order of watching the series. So I think it's 6 or 7 episodes. And the last episode, or the first, I don't remember exactly. I think the last episode is white or the last episode is black. Like each episode has a name of a color. So red, green, yellow, blue, etc. And each person gets a different order. So you start from white, yellow, red, green, and then always the last episode needs to stay the same. Some people are like wild and they also watch the last episode in the middle. But automatically, if you watch it through Netflix, it randomizes. It gives each person a different order. There are articles online, a lot of them, that like the best way to watch it is like, for example, red, green, yellow, blue, and then black, or the chronological order is like white, purple, da-da-da-da-da. And the most chaotic one is this. The most fun one is this. Like there are a lot of these kind of articles online about it. And I think it's a really interesting way because people that I talk to that watched it different that I did have a very different idea of like, oh, you think that character is a good character or bad character, or like these kind of things is very different. Not very, like we don't think the most evil person is now the best, but it's like, oh, actually, no, I think that was justified, or no, I don't think that was justified. These kind of questions we have different answers to. Yeah.
Interesting. And would you consider that one also as your favorite movie or series?
No. Even though I like it, I think it's really smart. My favorite movie of all time is called Big Fish. It's a Tim Burton movie, if I'm not mistaken. I need to make sure. Mm-hmm. And I really love it. And I think it's heartwarming, it's sweet, and it's like, I just love it. It just speaks to me.
Nice.
Yeah.
You know what also should speak to you? That is your customers. So if you are doing your product journey and you are start to manage maybe your first, your second, or you did already quite a lot of management in the product tech scene, then this is your podcast, because we are going through all the facets of our jobs and we want to put the icing on that topic to give you an idea on what to research, what to think about, and how to make your own mind about it. And one of the most important things is listening to your customers, obviously. And Ghonche, we learned already that you actually worked in a market research company, right? Back in the days?
Yes, I did.
So this is basically our topic today is basically yours, market research. What came to your mind first?
Yeah, so the first thing that comes to my mind is the very basic version of market research. So even when you want to like start with an idea, you can already start market research. Like spending time in the field to understand the problem, to understand the customers better is the best time that you can invest in the beginning of a project to make sure that you're not going a very wrong direction, or you're not building something expensive, spending so much time, like 6 months, a year, more on an idea that, or an assumption that is not being validated. So the first aspect that comes to my mind is the paths to do customer interview. So either you do observation, you do empathy mapping, you do questions like, and also big shout out to the mom test. It's an amazing book. I do definitely recommend it. And it tells you about how to actually talk to customers, how to actually do these customer interviews to get the result that you want. Basically, in a couple of sentences, if I want to summarize it, is that if you go to your mom and say, hey, I want to do this project, your mom, because of the love that they have for you, or because of the bias that they don't want to make you sad, they will always tell you, no, it's great. Do it, my little kid. You will be the most amazing. Please continue, do it. And basically the mom test here is how to also get the real gist of an answer that you want, not in a form of a question, hey, should I do this? Or a lot of times that I see people fall into the trap of, would you use this product if it was like this? Would you pay €5 for a product if it was like this? And then people say, yeah, sure, because it's a hypothetical. People don't actually need to pay for it at that moment. So it's not going to validate anything. But if you change the question, change the format into more open-ended question, into more observation, into more empathy mapping, you will get much more insights. And then based on that, you can continue. And I don't know who actually said this. I don't know if it was accurately assigned either to Henry Ford, or I think that if I would have asked people for what they want, they would have said faster horses. And like, I don't know if it's the historical accuracy of that code, but the basics of it is still very accurate. That you cannot just ask directly, what do you want? Because also the expansion of what's possible is quite limited for people that are dealing with a certain problem. If you then ask for, hey, how do you currently solve that problem? What do you use currently? Or can you please tell me the last time you did da-da-da? So if you want to go to an example, do you have any examples, Paul, in mind?
Oh, I'm listening to you, totally fascinated. And I would like to add another aspect, but please, if you have an example in mind. share it with us?
For example, I think you had a startup for elderly to create some tablets for them. I don't assume that you initially started with just going to an old people house and asking them, "Hey, would you use a tablet?" Or
I did that. I did everything wrong in the beginning, obviously, but the answers were not very helpful.
Yeah, and I think it could have been more like, hey, do you use online banking, or do you use do you chat with your grandson? Do you chat with your grandkids? Do you do video calling with them? How do you currently do video calling with them? How do you use online banking today? Oh, you don't use online banking. Why don't you use online banking? So all of these open-ended questions to learn more about the lived experiences of your target customer or the people that you want to solve a problem for, that is a boost.
Yeah, definitely. And you should try out multiple things, right? I just said it as a joke, but it was very serious. Don't put yourself into books and stay there forever, or try to collect money to hire a super expensive market research company. Go out and try, because there are, even though you would burn 100 customers of yours with wrong questions, with stupid ideas, first of all, you learn a lot, and there are multiple thousands still ahead you want to reach with the right product. So never stop. And I also started in the beginning with putting the wrong questions, and I also started with the wrong target group. And what really helped was our cooperation with a retirement home. And our first meeting was something like, hey, we're doing tech classes in the retirement home, because we wanted to get answers after a lot of wrong approaches. We want to get answers on what the people are doing. And then we asked in the class why you are here. And 2 people answered, my children and grandchildren, they told me not to go here, but I want to be independent. I want to learn on my own what's going on and why everyone is talking about internet and so on. And that really opened our eyes, and we said, okay, that is such a beautiful motivation. And how can we double down on that, right? On the independence, and not on the bad side of, oh, I don't understand it, I'm too old. And that really gave us a lot of push. On the same time, exactly, we did a lot of market research, what you said in the beginning, right? And did our competitor analysis, and we compared ourselves obviously with iPads and with Android simple mode and so on. And there were also some other companies doing similar things. And I find myself, or I really need to stop myself thinking when doing a competitor research, oh, damn it, they have everything already. Look at this competitor. They are so perfectly organized. They raised multiple millions of dollars. They have a fantastic marketing. Everything looks so shiny. They are so successful. You need to stop this thinking and continue analyzing, right? Because there's not even one team on earth where everything is running super smooth. They have all their issues, and they all promise more than they have. And it is not about the idea, right? It is about the execution. So learn what the others are promising, how they are looking, what is working, what is not working, and then continue your own way with well-educated assumptions on how your product should look like.
Exactly. And also it is important to validate those assumptions again. And the more you go through it, the more tools you need to add to this customer analysis. So at some point you need to add survey designs. You need to add testing, as in like an A/B testing, MVT, etc. You need to add focus groups. You need to add at some point probably an NPS, a net promoter score, to the mix to understand how your users or non-users are using a certain product. You need to do a competitor analysis. You need to add a lot more to this toolbox of market research that is not purely, hey, we just did a survey. Or at least I remember the time that I was in the uni, we had to do these market research things for our classes. and like we had to fill out surveys and analyze the results of the surveys. But it was, at least now that I'm looking at that, the surveys were so poorly designed, and we were catching people at such a random times. Like we were standing in front of like a supermarket asking people to fill a survey, and they were just like checking some boxes and then saying that yeah, I will do, well, yeah, I will pay, yeah, sure. And they didn't really pay attention because there was nothing at stake for them, and also we were not very smart. Where do we catch people? Is this person even, does this person even have this need or not? But it is important to catch people where the need is, or catch the people who have that specific need for those questions.
Yeah. And it is also important to realize that this is nothing you do once and then it is done, and then you go over to the next topic, right? This is exactly the same agile approach you need to follow as with your product development journey at all. And even though you ask the wrong questions in the beginning or you put the wrong assumptions, the most important thing is you have some, right? And all the tools you mentioned, they are so smart and there are so great examples on how they are used, and you can read forever about each method. Just start with something and see what resonates with yourself, what resonates with your product, what resonates also with your colleagues and teammates that seems to give you value. And I mean, this is the beauty of our jobs, right? There is no mathematical correct, right or wrong. There's always this in-between zone, and the art is to move forward even though everything looks very unforeseeable.
Yeah. And also I want to double down on what you said, Paul, that it is not a once and done kind of thing. You need to continuously check your assumptions. You need to continuously set your highest risk assumptions, and then try to validate those, and then again and again and again and again. You cannot just say, oh yeah, 3 years ago we did one survey and the result is this, so we just are heading towards this direction. The world changes. The new tools come to the market. People will adapt to the new tools. Some tools will disappear. Things change. So you need to do the research again and again.
Right, and try to pull people into your thinking. It is so easy to trap yourself if you're sitting all night alone in front of your computer and trying to mingling with the data. It's a good idea to ask ChatGPT or any other AI model to just play a little bit back and forth and to get some new words and some new methods and some new thoughts about what you are doing, but then also bring in people. Just ask around, explain your idea over and over, and ask more people, and also try to present to people outside of your team what you did, because it is so easy for someone else to say, hey, what, you stand in front of the supermarket to check what the people want to do tonight. They are not in the right mindset, and you were so convinced that this is the right thing and that you're finally going into action and do something, and then someone else is stepping from the side and just ruin everything. That is normal. That is happening to all of us. And that is also what you can do if you are not inside, right? The outside perspective is always different. And it's a joy to bring all of that together.
Yes. So I would like to end the episode with 3 words: validate, validate, validate. Yes. It is a continuous process and needs to be done with multiple target groups, with multiple methods, and at multiple times, at different stages of also your product development. And it's a crucial aspect of product management in my perspective.
Definitely. So when you feel somehow scary about it, then leave your comfort zone, bring yourself into these unpleasant moments, and gain knowledge, because knowledge is what really differentiates us and what justifies our jobs, basically.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
All right.
Awesome. Thank you, Ghonche.
Thank you,
It was great
Paul.
fun again.
Yeah, exactly. For me as well.
So subscribe to our podcast, recommend it to all of your friends.
Yes.
And see you next time.
And give us a 5-star rating, please.
Great. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.